is what's been stressing me out. But we've just used a damp meter around this area, around this wall here, especially around here, because that was concerning me. But the readings seem to be okay. However, we were outside and there is a crack in the caravan, so we're hoping, fingers crossed, it's not as bad as what our little minds are telling us, but it's definitely still going to need a lot of work. The awning rails and bars are going to have to be resealed, taken off and resealed. So after we pulled off the awning rail to reseal, we actually found this crack, and you probably can't see because of the light, but the space here underneath, we think that the caravan's actually been in an accident and there's been a botched job, and that's where the water ingress has been coming. So what we've done is we've taken off the awning rail, which was just wrecked. Because the caravan's so old, we did phone a couple of people, but they can't source a new awning rail. So what we've got here is a mastic strip, and then we've got a piece of alloy, lined up the holes, drilled through, and then what we're going to do is then put a bit of Siliflex around the thread and then screw them straight back in. Hi guys, just want to do a quick video, just a bit of a summary of what's happened with our Caravan Damp and what we've done to rectify it or try and improve the situation. We bought our 2005 Caravan last year from a dealership, and yeah, we've had it like literally like a year and a couple of weeks. We use this particular dealership because they have a really good reputation for sorting any, you know, problems and having a 12-month warranty on even, you know, an old used caravan like ours. So that's why we went with them. Unfortunately, when we discovered the damp, it was within 12-month warranty, but we couldn't get in touch with them, maybe due to the restrictions. They're just not answering their phone, so I take it that they're just not in. So we've kind of had to make do with what we can do ourselves, and you know, thank God for the internet, because there's been an awful lot of information that we've been able to get on there. But we did make the mistake of panicking when we first discovered the damp. I think everybody does that when they've got a beloved caravan that, you know, yeah, we were pretty devastated. But this is the thing, you panic and you make poor choices. So the kind of story started when we were actually going to be taking the caravan home because we were going to renovate it. I'm off work, so plenty of time, so we thought this was the right time to do our renovations, and hopefully get them all done before we can get back out in the caravan again. So I just had a funny feeling about it being out in the caravan storage since October. There wasn't any smell, there was just one tiny sort of damp patch in the corner of the window, and it was a little bit black, but it could have been condensation, you know. It's so we bought a damp meter, which we should have probably got like at the start, but because it was only a year old, you know, we thought it was going to be okay. We knew we'd get round to it at some point, but just, you know, after a year, we didn't really think that it was really necessary when we first bought the caravan. So got a damp meter, took the readings. They were really high, just in one spot though, like it wasn't everywhere, it was literally just kind of in that vicinity. So I started removing bits of wallpaper just to see what the walls were like underneath, and there was some dark spots, nothing too spongy, nothing really soft to touch, but just, you know, a few dark spots. So we panicked. We literally like started ripping everything apart. We took out the boiler, started taking apart the bulkhead. Didn't really know how caravans were made, and we soon realised, you know, how they're built, you know, literally from out to in or into out or whatever. Anyway, so we started like ripping things out, and in all honesty, all we've done is give ourselves more work because we've had to put them back together. what I soon realised after being on quite a lot of forums, I found a forum where people were talking about how they were able to dry out their caravan because the water ingress wasn't actually that bad, which gave me a little bit more hope. So what we had set about then was really inspecting the caravan, every single nook and cranny from the outside, to see exactly where the water could be getting in. And I know sometimes that's really tricky for people to actually find, but for us, we found it straight away, and it was pretty big. It's pretty apparent where it was coming in. So we removed the awning rail just to make sure, we got everything. And down the right hand side of the caravan, all the awning rail down the front, that was pretty mucky. When we cleaned it all up, there was a lot of gaps in there. The silicone really wasn't cutting the mustard. And then obviously we had that big split up at the top of the front of the caravan. So we used a product, we didn't just silicone everything over, we used a product that actually goes down into where the split was, and really fills that whole gap. Cleaned up all the awning rail, things like TV aerials. We've actually removed the one on top of the caravan, we've blanked that off. Again, we don't really use it. We stream, we don't watch TV, so we just blanked that off just to reduce the possibility of any water getting in. It just made sense for us, really. We just knew we didn't want to have to deal with this again if we can avoid it. So we went around the whole caravan, changed over the awning rail. That was a bit of a nightmare because we couldn't get a new one because the caravan's quite old. I did manage to find a dealership shop down south, but they had said I probably wouldn't be able to get, and I asked them if I would be able to use like an alloy strip. Absolutely no problem. And they'd also advised to use a mastic strip underneath, which we'd already found on another video on YouTube. So that was all good. A little bit of silicone around the screws and put them in, and then silicone the whole lot, and then we've got a PV strip to put over that as well. So it'll look nice, neat and tidy, and hopefully be completely watertight. And like I said, that split where we think the caravan was actually in an accident, that's where the water's been coming in. So the readings around the windows, about 20, they weren't too high. So but I've been keeping an eye on them as well, and they're like right down to sort of 10, 8. So what we did after that, we just made sure we were ventilating and heating the caravan every day for a couple of hours. We just kept using the meter just to take readings, and I had a little notepad where I could watch, how far they were falling every day or every 12 hours or so. So they were coming down pretty fast. And I was on a forum, and a lady was saying that she had a water ingress, and her caravan was able to dry out. It did take a couple of months. Took her about 3 months, I think she was saying, but it was all fine. Now, because our walls weren't spongy, there's certainly no rot set in. Obviously I know if water gets in there again, then the damp may spread, and we may still have to end up replacing panels, and we completely understand that. So for everybody sitting shaking their head at home going, no, replace panels, it just wasn't an option. So we're fully aware of what we might be looking at further down the line, but at the moment the caravan is completely watertight, completely safe. And our friend who had came round with the fibre optic camera just to check in behind the the insulation and things like that, there was no black, there was no mould, and everything looked a-okay. So we know it's not a health risk as well. So yeah, I've just been taking the meter readings every day, keeping an eye on it, and heating and ventilating, and they're coming down, like some of them are now under 10. So we're really, really hopeful, so yeah, we'll just see what happens, right? That's what we've done. All the videos on YouTube I've watched is about replacing the caravan panels and how to repair damp. I haven't found anything about drying them out. So hey, this might be a video for somebody, and I might 3 months down the line have another video saying that we've had to replace it, but we can wait and see. We have started renovating, so I'm really hoping that it's going to be okay. Anyway, so that's where we're at. That's what we did, and yeah, it's um it's a bit of a slow process renovating a caravan. The chalk paint, that's a whole new world to me, and actually we found one that's like super cheap and it's been the best. So I'll do a video on that as well. But yeah, B&M, that was a bit of a find. However, I did also get a spray paint from there, and it was cheap and it's not turned out really that great. So but yeah, that will be in the renovation video. So thank you so much for watching. Kicking it with Crixus, my French bulldog. Absolutely lovely wee guy, and he can't wait to get out in the caravan again.